Welcome out, gamers and gamettes, to this RGLgg Invite Highlander cast. We're in Season 14, Week 2, taking Froggieland versus Fast Fourth here on the classic Koth product. I am Alto, joined by Zag to my side. Dolphin behind the camera, as always. Zag, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to see this match. As we mentioned last week, we did kind of see a bit of a one-sided affair between, I believe it was Squirtier and our team that we're expecting to go far this season, League of Lemons. But as I mentioned, we're going to be having some really interesting mid-table matchups coming up, and tonight is a big one. Froggieland versus Fast Fourth. Both these teams are expected to make playoffs. Both them know they can go as far as second, maybe even potentially further. So it's going to be an interesting one tonight.
Yeah, lots of big names on these rosters that I'm excited to see play. As mentioned, see how far they can go. See if Fast Fourth can go past fourth,
Yeah.
as is their title off of a couple players on this roster failing to place. Uh, leave those. If you know, you know. Let's run down the rosters real quick before we get too far into it. So, on the side of Fast Fourth, it will be Blank on Scout, Ether on Soldier, Melon on Pyro, Exile on Demo, Poseidon on Heavy, Rebel on Engineer, Toy on Medic, Mujet on Sniper, and Fish on Spy.
And on the side of Frogland is going to be Technomo on Scout, Freelander on Soldier, Pyrus on Pyro, Townsy on Demo Man, Moist on Heavy, X on Engineer, Virgil on Medic, the SAR on Sniper, and Construed on Spy.
And I mean, I'm going to be honest. I see Fast Fourth. I see a couple players on that roster, and I'm like, yeah, they're cruising for fourth again. It's going to happen. But when I really look at the roster, it looks really good. I mean, there's definitely some echoes of the Fog on this roster coming in. The Melon, Exile, Rebel, Mujet, Fish. Is Toy on Fog? I think Toy was on Fog. Probably. Yeah, I don't remember if Toy made or not at the time, but I'm mainly looking at Blank on Scout as kind of being maybe the piece de resistance of this team, kind of coming in and maybe giving that boost that I don't think they had in the past. When we've seen similar iterations of this roster, I feel like we've seen the Melon Pyro Exile demo combo quite a few times now.
Yeah, and I do agree. The Blank Scout is the big pick I'm mainly looking at. Blank has come up in recent Highlander seasons as being one of the most consistent scouts at the top level. We've seen him play on first place tier rosters. We've seen him do well in pretty much every high stakes match he's had, and I do think that on a map like Product, he's been able to go ham a bit here.
Yeah, and I mean Technomo, I believe was on Froggy last season. I believe you'd think we'd know this.
I think he was, but he was out for a couple weeks in and out.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, definitely been around Invite at this point. Not anyone to scoff at, but just not hasn't seen the sustained high level success that we've seen on Blank on multiple classes too. Honestly, but I'm looking at my boy Marcus Freelander on Soldier. Been a while since he mained. Want to see if he's doing well, having fun, getting dubs. See how that goes. I fed him a couple strats last night, so if those comes out, I think I might be rooting for Froggy.
We'll have to see if those do come through. But yeah, there's a lot of matchups that we can look, board to board here and kind of compare who's like, stronger of the strong options. SAR versus Mujet on Sniper is going to be an interesting one where, we know Mujet has that Brazilian ping. It can be kind of hard to peek into it at certain angles. And on Product, where Sniper is such a big deal, SAR is going to need to really make sure that he's keeping his team, at least even in the SVS.
Yeah, and then I mean, again, just down, kind of down the lineup, lots of well known names. I mean, I think the Scout is probably where I'd expect to see the biggest diff in favor of Fast Fourth, but Freelander versus Ether, I mean, I think Ether may have more pedigree, perhaps, but when it comes to Highlander, I think Freelander's in his element. Pyros versus Melon, both long time top invite Pyros. Townsy versus Exile, I'd lean Exile on paper, but I think Townsy has, shown up in big games. And then, what do you think about the bottom half of the rosters?
I think that Fish vs. Construed's an interesting 1v1 to look at for the spies because I know that Fish plays like a heavy main call style. I'm not sure exactly how much he's going to be able to really main call on a roster that probably is talking a decent amount from their combo. If he is able to kind of get a lot of words in here and Blank, I don't know how Blank plays on scouts. I don't know if like Blank is calling their Ubers or what, but I think on product fish, he might be a player who can like really pop off if he calls his team around him. Contrude's been reliable in the past, but he does show like signs of inconsistency when it comes down to it. I remember an Asheville game last season where he just was not having it. It was like a late season game or even a playoff game, and he was just not having a good time. So we might see Contrude struggle a bit, but he could be fine. His product, sometimes Spy just gets a bunch of free picks. I do kind of want to back up to that Townsy Exile matchup on Demo Man because that's one of the big ones I want to look at here tonight, alongside the Technomo Blank. We know the Highlander Trinity, Soldier, or Scout, Demo, Sniper. They do. If those three end up winning for your side, it's very hard to lose a match. And I feel like Townsy versus Exile is kind of a misunderstood matchup in that, Exile has the pedigree, and everyone knows that Exile has been a top invite Highlander demo for quite a while. He's just been in the game forever. Towns has been a co-op story over the past few seasons where, he gets made fun of a bit. People kind of look down on him because he is one of the newer demos trying to contest like a lot of the bigger name demos. But last season in playoffs, I was very impressed by Townsy.
Yeah, although admittedly, I'm not impressed by this server, which just crashed. So I think we'll have a bit more of a delay as we wait for that to get resolved. But no, I definitely agree. I think Townsy really did kind of, maybe last playoffs was this kind of his invite coming out party, you could almost say. Really kind of, he had been hanging around in low invite for quite some time, mid invite a couple times. I think last season was the one where he finally kind of proved that he has the skill to belong in that upper echelon of demo men right now in the game. So yeah, I mean, ripping Exile is kind of our thing at this point. So if I think if Exile is able to avoid becoming, I need a catchy name for feed Exile. The type of play where it feels like Exile's constantly being sniped or picked off at really bad times, like right before an Uber's about to start, or as the other team starts walking in, then I think that may be enough to kind of tilt things in Froggieland's favor, unless there's a really, really big sniper diff showing up. But the other matchup I do want to look at is Moist versus Poseidon on Heavy, because I think that's going to be an interesting one. As Poseidon, to me, isn't someone who I look at and think tons of Heavy experience. Whereas Moist, on the other hand, is someone who's known to play more of that kind of aggressive style. He's not going to be the person sitting on cliff, all game, going to probably be playing on concrete, playing in connector, walking forward, getting across either through connector or through concrete and kind of being that attention sink for his team. And Poseidon, I guess, a bit more of a wild card, so I'm very interested to see how that turns out as well.
Yeah, we are trying to get everyone loaded back into the server. Dolphins to toss us that info when we do have a chance. But yeah, a lot of back and forth matchups on paper in this, and it's kind of hard to make predictions. Predictions have been going on the entire time, and it's pretty close overall. 3 to 3.5, slightly leaning in favor of Fast Fourth. A lot of people think that they're going to be able to take this one, but rounds are going to go over. And early in the season on a Koth map, right? Especially in a matchup where both these teams are going to be contending for those playoff seeds. Both them want to be, second and third over potentially fourth seed in playoffs. Dodging that hard matchup off the bat is very important early on. So yeah, like even getting like as many rounds as possible here. You want to make sure that you can get as many of those crucial match points. You want to make sure that you put yourself in the best possible position come, week 7. You're trying to actually get the seed you want. So teams should be ready to fight really hard for a match like this.
Yeah, and something else I'm really excited to see is that, do you remember back, I brought this up in the Discord, it was the Season 10 Grand Finals. The double crits Grand Finals on product. Right? Good times. And I remember talking to the teams after that, and I'm like, was that a gentleman's or no? Both teams just through scrims kind of both came to the conclusion that it was the best way, and that product was entering its aggressive era, and that kind of just fell off after that. But I think it started to resurface again here, where, from what I've been hearing from teams, I rang for After Dark this week, and what I saw in their scrims as well, teams are really pushing the envelope of what it means to be aggressive on product, to try to get forward holds done, and not the forward hold of the past where everyone sits on cliff and just waits for the sniper to go out grass and then pick someone off as they cowardly run away, but more of like a Prout style kind of quick exploration into a new area of the map, then you back off and go somewhere else. So maybe you get on cliff, go there, get a sticky trap up on the cliff exit, kill 1 or 2 people, back up, go back to point, get on concrete, hold up there, continually just put pressure on them, and don't give them the room to let that sniper set up. And if we see that in the match, I think it's going to be a very refreshing look at product.
Yeah, even back in the day, you know, the teams that were always really dominant on product, like the MTSs back in the day, they would just run you over by winning mid and then getting on your cliff and not letting you leave spawn. And, you know, granted, teams get better and better, and it's harder to kind of spawn camp teams in the top division, but that said, if you're able to actually rotate on the high ground, you know, wall forward, like you're saying, you know, move your team around, you can actually get a lot of pressure, and we'll see if they can do that. As timer is up, we're going to be starting this match right now. Fast Fourth versus Froggieland. Going to be Froggy in red, Fast Fourth on blue.
Coming in, and I messed up my camera real quick, but both demos going to be on the mids. Looks like Exile maybe a little bit more aggressive, but nothing too major to note right now. Ether getting aggro and connector right there. Bell going to be picked off by Townsy, who's way too far forward, but Teknomo coming in finds Toy. That is a med down, and the full-on sacks are in. Virgil in pocket, sitting pretty. Nothing to do right there. No damage on her at all. Monster's going to find Mujet. Rebel's going to get sniped out, and despite finding Townsy early, the aggression from Teknomo finds Toy, and the mid is just easy Sunday morning after that.
Yeah, that med pick was really crucial early on onto Toy. Just not able to keep the team healed. And we did see unsung hero of that mid was Pyrus, completely denied the bomb coming in from Ether, kept Virgil healthy in pocket, and they were able to just win out the mid. Mujet with a great counter snipe angle, taking down Sar from the main doorway, and that's going to open up the
Marcus Freelander in on Toy comes in nuclear into that main spawn. Toy has nowhere to serve, just not called, not expected, and even with that SBS
counter
win.
Sack.
Sack's coming in. Virgil,
not popping.
Oh, not
popping. Oh, has to pop that either.
Almost.
Did as good of a job as possible for milking that, but yeah, that bomb was just too good over the top. They took China control. Exile had some really good stickies, and that pop had to come out. So successful sack coming out here for the side of Fast Fourth. They are going to be down about 1 minute in time though.
Yeah, and I mean they are still Toy only on 20%. Did they die during that sack somehow? I guess not. No, it must have just spawned right up at the same time. Maybe not high people to heal is what it been. But Rebel gonna picked off as they start to walk back in. Construed on China finds Mujet. Moist will go down, but the frags are still in favor of Froggieland, as is the positioning. Exile down, that is a big death. Deciding trades out onto Townsy, but Teknomo next, and it looks like Fast Fourth is turning this around.
Yeah, Virgil, 60 HP, fishes on Cliff with that revolver, trying to pepper him down. It is going to be Exo with the revenge crits to kind of stave that spy off and help Virgil keep their Uber charge. And now that's going to be the recapture coming in for Fast Fourth. Both meds at about 75%. Oh, but there's a snipe from Sar onto Toy from that cliff angle. They were trying to do the concrete forward hold, but Sar said no thanks.
Yep, and Virgil now coming up on 90. You know, finally goes in favor of Fast Fourth, but I don't know how long it's going to sit there, as Fish going to get caught out. No comms on this push coming in right here. Spam going over, but not finding it. The Mujet dead already, and there's not much left to defend this. Freelander bombing in through Cliff, going to get some good damage out. Finally takes out Poseidon, but more kills going over on the side of Froggy. But still, Cap's going to come through for Froggieland, and again, just that Uber is so threatening. Toy doesn't want to get caught out again. But they don't force it out of Virgil, and things are looking really good for Froggy in this first round.
Yeah, another great sack denial by Pyrus and Mini Sentry and friends. Going to be able to keep that Uber full up for Virgil, like you said, so threatening. And now we're going to have to see another sack come in, try and get this force. Ether is jumping onto Concrete Poseidon, following him up. Exile's walking up close as well. Looks like they're going to try to dry push across. They're at 50% Uber. Fish dropping off, and he hits the drop from China onto Virgil. That's exactly what his team needed.
Oh, that stab just awakened memories of Fish on product last season.
Yep.
Enabling things for his team.
And Toy's dead again, though.
Yeah, even with that, still not enough.
Freelander's killed Toy 3 times so far, right? 3 med picks in a round?
I think it's twice. Maybe
Either way, he's just keeping that enemy medic down. Even when his goes down, they are able to keep control of the point because Toy just can't heal anyone.
And, you know, Freelander's in a good position, right? I mean, he's getting good bombs in, but at the same time, he's not the first one in. He's not bombing in a straight 9v9. His pick classes are doing so much work, and as I say that, like Exile, Toy, Ether, Rebel, Poseidon, and Fish, the dominoes fall in short order. The pick classes started up, and then the combo classes finish it. And that is just optimal TF2 gameplay right there. I mean, you don't need to send your soldier or your demo into a 9v9 where they're gonna get focused. They're gonna go down just to create space when your sniper and spy can do it for you. And that's exactly what they need to do. Overtime, last ditch push coming in. Poseidon standing tall on point right now. Not that damage, getting a really aggro position. It looks like the cap gonna go over with Noble and Moist going down. But we have to see, not even cap yet. Exile taken out. Poseidon as well. Sar on a 6-man.
Yeah, he's still standing there. Virgil goes down to the back on the Fish finds a second consecutive medic pick. That was going to be big for his team. Going to help Toy get the Uber advantage for the first time for what seems like all match. And with the spawn advantage, it is going to be a recapture coming in favor of Fast Fourth. They have 2 minutes to make up, but they'll have a full Uber ad to do it. Bomb coming in. Feeling they're trying to go alone. Hits a rocket, but not much else. Moist as well going to go down. Late in is... Oh my god, Townsy! He hit the sticky and threatened with the pipe and just immediately forced that Uber. That was fantastic.
Yeah, came in a little delayed on the sack, so I wasn't sure if he was going to get anything, but not a problem for Townsy as he gets the force off. And I mean, exactly what you need to do. Yeah, as Dolphin has Fish versus Sar on Cliff right now, both in
one shot kills both of them.
Position. Yeah,
one shot kills both of them. This is a high noon. First finger on the trigger gets the kill here.
Oh man, this is a tense unpause. That said, though, right? The sack went through, so the time is still ticking down, but realistically, you're looking at almost 2 minutes on the clock for Fast Fourth, and they just had their Uber force. Virgil, excuse me, not going to be much higher. It's going to be about a 15% ad or so by the time this expires, which isn't a ton. I mean, if you build it and you're fast with it, you can push off of it. But what it really means is that any pressure coming in from Froggieland is going to be really dangerous because you don't have that Uber as a safety blanket.
And we do have word that the pause is an exile crash a minute and a half into the future, so yeah, it's likely in the next round because they had a minute left, like a minute and a half left here, so if he crashes maybe at the end of the round. Either way, we'll have to see when he actually gets back in, but that is the reason for the pause right now. It's going to be trying to load him back into the server. Should be pretty short, but yeah, like you said, Uber advantage isn't going to be too big for the side of Froggieland, but it's still going to be there, right? If you are Fast Fourth, you need to make sure you don't bleed players needlessly, because you have the long spawns, you will have to wait for those players to get back, and then, like you said, they will not have that Uber to deter any aggression. If Froggieland gets, one pick, it's going to snowball like it has all around, and it's likely going to end to a Froggy win.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're in overtime, the other team's in overtime, and you have multiple minutes on the clock, it's going to take a long string of good play, and we haven't seen that yet from Fast Fourth. Just not coordinated enough, not good enough protection on Toy, Exile, and, kind of their other key classes. Although, I do want to give a shout out to Toy. I'd imagine this is intentional, but little, kind of min-max tip on Medic is that if you get forced and you're in a situation where...
Flash as many people as possible.
Exactly, yes. As if Dolphin maybe zooms out, you can see that there are currently 4 Ubered players on the side of Fast Fourth. Because, yeah, you force because you don't want to die. But if the threat's gone, the faster you flash, the faster your Uber drains, the faster you start building again. Which, it's a matter of percents, right? You're going to get 1, maybe 2... maybe 5 at most if you really drain that thing quickly. Hey, but sometimes it comes down to it.
We've seen 99% deaths over and over, haunt teams. So you'll min-max those 1 or 2%. You will do that.
Exactly, yeah, because no reason to keep the Uber at this point. There is no one threatening Toy. Although I see Pyrus on China with the detonator out.
Oh, who gets the kill? Neither hit the shot.
That's anti-climate. No, Sar got hit. Sar went from... Sar's bleeding, that's why, yeah.
No, yeah, okay. He got hit by the toy. He got hit by the ball, I think.
Toy?
Wrong toy. I think he got hit by Blank's Rap Assassin ball, and he's just dropping off cliff right now. He should... There's no pack there. Does he live? Yeah, he should live.
If he doesn't take another chip shot, can Blank see him?
It'll be like a 12 damage shot at most.
Yeah, but if the bleed's still on...
He can kill him, yeah. That'll be a kill.
Oh,
if Blank, yeah, he dies if Blank is aiming at him.
Sar has 22 health on my spectator, like my camera's on Sar and it says 22, but my HUD still says 49.
Yeah, it does not.
That's a HUD thing. Interesting.
He probably dies to Blank here, which it's a good chase down by Blank. Yeah, but we're just winning.
Congratulations to the League of Lemons who have won their match before
Who
our
cares?
first round is
Demento,
over.
who cares, bro? What do you mean you won product? Who cares? We know you won product. We'll see at the end of the
After
season
Dark
again,
almost
okay?
done too, apparently.
It's fine. The casted match always has to go the latest.
Yeah, this is we actually, paid off Exile to throttle his internet here so that we could get more viewers.
We did have a... Okay, so yeah.
Sar does bleed out.
Yeah,
Pirates get sniped out as well. Going
Yeah,
for that. Toy back to full health? Question mark? I thought they were a lot lower.
I need a HUD reload to see that in a second, but we do see a forward hold coming out here. They're getting aggressive in main. Townsy gets picked off by that sniper, so, Fast Forward is doing a good job here, trying to make the best of the situation where they do need kills. They need to disrupt heavily. Spy coming in, not going to be able to get the kill on the Toy. Valiant attempt to dodge shoot there, but not going to work out. Sar, though, really good peek, going to take down Mujet.
Yeah, and more kills going across. Both heavies going to trade out as they're fighting on concrete. Melon taken out. Fish finds Technomo and Virgil. That is exactly what Fast Fourth needs right now. They need those successful chained, fights where taking out Virgil means that Toy's allowed to build this Uber. Probably coming up on it soon. HUD's not entirely up yet. Coming up on it right now. Blank will get sniped out, so no scout. But the heavy coming in beside it alone gets stabbed out. Toy went to meet up with Exile. They're going to have to use to block this.
Yeah,
it's already really close to going over.
Yeah, Exile needs to find a kill here. There's no scout here to help him out. Fish is on the backline, but no one's actually able to stop. Remember, this is overtime, so all Froggy do is cap it. Fish gonna find Star with that decloak. Really big pickup. Freelander, big rocket gonna come out to Toy, and with that, they're gonna get the capture. So round one in favor of Froggieland here.
Despite Fish's best efforts there, not quite enough. I mean, Poseidon getting caught, getting stabbed out there, separating from Virgil just feels like a miscommunication there, because if your heavy's alive, that's a much more doable defense.
Yeah, coming into round two here, we'll see if Fast Fourth can kind of remedy some of the big issues that we saw. One of them being, Toy's chain deaths, which ended up happening to snipers and soldiers. Early bomb over the top by Freelander going up behind. He will likely try to jump on this medic. Aggressive mid coming forward from Fast Fourth, but they're going to lose Exile to some good scouting shots from Technomo. These players in the backline are being such a disruption right now, and with Technomo cleaning up Ether on concrete, this mid is property of Froggieland.
Zag, do you remember what we felt like when we watched the Frog play?
What did we
How it felt like they had such good names on paper, but the team play just wasn't there.
Yeah.
It is happening again, I fear. I mean, we see both demos trade out immediately on mid. Both of them died almost on the same tick. But then it's just Froggieland's playing so much more cohesively. They're so much more aggressive. They're all playing off of each other's, one person walks forward and they're using that space. But good repush coming in from Fast Forward.
Yeah, Uber trade on the point. More flashes coming through onto Exile, so Uber's going to be better suited for Froggieland right now. We do see Fast Forward back off the Uber. Point control is in favor of Froggieland. Those spawns going to be coming in faster for Fast Forward. But Exile too far forward gets picked off by the mini sentry ball things. Ether and Blank going to fall like dominoes right after. They are getting aggressive onto the point. Poseidon drops down to try and get some space, but easily cleaned up by the likes of Exa and Technomo. So now Point going to get flipped by that spawn advantage like I mentioned, but either way it's going to be even Ubers for both mad. Time advantage in favor of Froggy.
Yeah, I mean, the cap still not there. We go. Finally over. Just a minute off the clock for Froggieland. But Virgil, slight add on Toy. Fish going to get caught out. That's no Spy to call anything coming in. No potential big stabs coming out. Hitting it on Rock. No more going to get sniped out as he walks in. Concert as well, but Townsy finds Toy with spam. Behind Rock, eating sticky after sticky, and the dominoes fall after that. Freelander goes in and goes down, but he is a worthy sacrifice. Mujet gets a consolation prize onto Exa, but gilding the engineer not going to help you here.
So Townsy got that med kill, right? But I'm going to credit Contru with that one, because we saw Contru go in as bait for his team. He went in with a Spicicle, got knife melted, the entire team turned around to look at them, and then Toy just walked into a sticky bomb, because they were all looking at the Spy. I don't know who's calling that decloak. I'd guess that it's the Spy, because, the Spy says, I'm in position, let's go. But Townsy just moves off perfectly off the call, and they get that really easy med tech.
Fish, though, refusing to say die, takes out Technomo. No scout. Freelander down as well. They will trade out Ether as well. So a 77, much faster spawns on Fast Forward right now, though.
He got caught eating the Sandy and connector. Moist gonna take him down and run to his enemy concrete. Moist is in behind here. The Uber comes through on point at the same time. Toy, though, out of dodge, gonna be able to keep his Uber charge for a later date.
Oh, Moist, is he out? He is. Gonna eat that. Moist, yeah, that's correct. Moist is a banana enjoyer, if we weren't aware. It's not actually showing on stream, I just realized, yeah, that is a banana, but going in for a sack is Townsy, gonna get levitated. Freelander as well. Rebel, the only kill going over, counter guild from the red sniper.
The crits.
The glow stick crit's not gonna find anything either, and 5-5 for the engineer.
Yeah, they were trying to get onto Toy because they knew they were at a pretty sizable Uber disad, but good awareness there by Fast Forward to keep Toy out of harm's way. Now with this Uber ad, again, they're down about a minute and a half on the clock. They're trying to get aggressive. Ooh, good turn by Toy onto Conchu. Conchu tries with the revolver shots, can't quite get them in time, and he will go down. Very nearly had a big force there.
Yeah, would have been big to force that up, but Freelander gonna get that force anyway. A nice little alley-oop there, sets him up with one rocket, able to get that force out. And that's really all they needed, since Virgil now at 100%, 98, now at 100%, gonna have that Uber, forces them out of this forward hold. Toy back pretty passive, you know, behind rock, as you kind of need to be when you don't have calls on the enemy sniper, could be peeking you from anywhere. Gonna have to see what happens, but you know, they're happy to sit on point right now. Yeah, it's a big bridge.
That's a really off, and he was standing on top of it too. Definitely didn't expect an angle, but he gets punished for it, taken down by Constru. At the meantime, Fish gonna trade frags onto Exa, so both teams down a player. Uber coming in solo onto Technomo, doing work. Hit finds going to Melon. Melon, you know, gives her life to deny that Uber as she should, and now Toy with 70%. They're going back in on this one.
Yeah, really good recollapse coming in from Fast Fourth right there. Gonna find Moist, Virgil, most importantly. I think that's a... Is that another one? No, that was
Townsy in. Oh, he hits Toy on a solo sack. The last dying breath shoots that pipe, and that was going to swing all momentum back in his team's favor.
W in Townsy's name, really doing a lot of work right there. That was a beautiful sack. Insane last pipe. The frame, he dies, and yeah, that's going to take out Toy. Pulls the point right back in favor of Virgil. You know, no Uber, no problem, as she's got ads sitting on about 30%.
Yep, and now, like you said, that Uber ad can be very in their favor. If you are Toy right now, they got the timer back down to a minute. The time is very close, but the ball is in Froggieland's court right now. Exile walking forward on caution, trying to get some space forward. Rebel, Fish, and Ether all gonna drop those SAR, doubling up, and the connector fight isn't going well either. Moist just shredding through Poseidon. Like that, they lose 5 instantly.
Toy on the board though, gonna land that Solemn Vow onto Construed, but again, a very poor consolation prize for basically losing your entire team. Granted, they are coming up on Uber, right? It's gonna be close whether or not they get it in time. They're gonna need a little bit of overtime, I would think, in order to get it. But Virgil already has sitting on point, ready to use. Oh, Freelander
sinks the
over the top.
Exit. And that's going to be a free Uber charge coming in. They're flashing everyone they can out here. It's just a scout and a mini sentry left over. Blank trying his best. Technomo shooting a sniper in the back. Gets cleaned up on the point. And that's going to be round 2 in favor of Froggieland. Pretty convincing.
In Freelander's words himself, med down, lol. As that was a beautiful sink right onto Toy coming in from orbit. Round's still not over yet though. That spot time staying on for quite some time. Yeah, Spawner's back in. And Fish gets Virgil.
Flip. They're sacking onto it, but Technomo's on a 5k, shredding. The mini sentry's not taken care of. Now it's going to be over. They're losing players. They're getting bombed by Freelander. They're just going down. Technomo, a 6k. That's going to be the end of the round. Surely, right?
Oh, I think, yeah,
Toy.
seeing it in chat, there may be a glitch that's been going around where cap time is not decreasing at the normal rate. It's decreasing much more slowly.
I feel like that's decreasing way slower than it should.
No, this is a known bug. This is a known bug, and I think we may be seeing it here.
Yeah, so there's
really
no
the move
time
is
right
you
now.
gotta let him.
Yeah, I don't know what caused this bug, but it's gonna go really heavily in Fast Forward's favor. They get a 3rd shot at the desperation overtime push. Technomo, he's not saying die. He wants to get every kill he can. Takes down Poseidon, but the cap finally goes over. And that one, it takes a while, but they do get it back. You know, whether or not the legitimacy of that is debated, whatever. They have the point.
Yeah, if they don't take this round back, I'd imagine that might be something you could potentially contest. But we'll see if they can take it the normal way. 30 seconds left on the clock. Ad for Toy, but only 50%. Fish gonna get glow sticked out right off the bat. Technomo though found out behind, but Exile and Toy dead. Moist through through concrete gonna find that.
5v5.
Frags traded all around, but the heals on the side of Froggieland look like they may be coming out to be the difference here.
Wait, they don't have any hit scan though to take care of this Pyro. Melon can be working out. Ether over the top, finds the kill onto Virgil, loses life for it, but now here, no heals for either team. Technomo, though, standing tall on the point, helps take down Mujet with the SAR. Now they have the spawners, they're gonna hit the cap, and they're gonna win the round. Deservedly, I'd say.
Yeah, that's like 2 and a third, 2 and a quarter, really, for them, instead of just 2. But, yeah, all's well that ends well in this case. Is that round probably should have been over a little bit beforehand. Gonna have to see if anything gets done to address that. I remember seeing a ETF2L player mentioning that bug earlier, and it looks like it is rearing its head in NA as well. So, again, if we hear anything from the Edmondsman match, we will relay that, but as of now, 2-0 will be the score, I believe.
Freelander messaged me, they're going to restart the server here, so we're going to have to reload in, but, you got to do what you got to do. Crazy how a game that has been updated in 5 years has game-breaking bugs being discovered right now, apparently, so.
Yeah, crazy. Who would have thought? But, yeah, I mean, just, again, really solid play from Froggieland there. Look at, is that, those, Dolphin, those aren't the right logs.
Yeah, they were off for a second. I saw Nixie in there, and I'm like,
I'm like, Wish is in this match?
Yeah, but...
Oh, wow, that's... Freelander's KD is not what I thought it would be.
Hey, that's Impact.
Oh, I know. We've probably said his name about as much as anyone else here, but it's just, you see it, and... Normally, the more you say a player's name with a lot of volume behind it, the better their numbers, but just quality over quantity in this case. But the rest of his team, more than doing enough to cover for that. SAR, 25 and 10 on Sniper, 543 DPM from Townsy, 21 and 11 on Technomo. I mean, Poseidon actually showing up a little bit over Moist, but other than that...
Yeah, speaking of quantity, like Poseidon with the top frag for his team.
Fish as well, actually, you should mention. Yeah, 15 and 12, and he had some really big kills, but... Just not enough.
I think it's important to talk about the team play again, because you mentioned it during that game, right? Like, on paper, this Fast Fourth roster has a lot of really good pieces, right? Like, you look at Exile Demo, Blank Scout, Mujet Fish as pick classes. There's a lot of good stuff here that you would not be, like, remiss to pick up for your, playoff contending team in any season, right? It just feels like the way that they play together doesn't complement each other. And like the one of the things I want to draw attention to is that one mid where we saw they lost control of connector instantly. A joint push came forward from Froggie's flank classes and or like heavy, whoever plays connector at the start. And Technomo was just allowed to run wild. He killed like 3 people on the mid, basically winning it for his team, just because he wasn't getting checked. It felt like no one on Fast Fourth was ever trying to like address their glaring issues.
And I mean, I'm gonna quote an old one. Just united we stand, divided we fall. It felt like it was just constant like individual fight losses on the side of Fast Fourth. It felt like they weren't dying as a result of like taking a really bloody team fight. Nah, it's just people trickling all the time. I think I said dominoes 3 times in those 2 rounds. I want to say, and it's just one person just gets careless, peeks the sightline, they go down, that opens up a hole somewhere, Froggieland immediately takes advantage of it. It kind of feels like they have a cheat sheet of, like, who just got sniped? Okay, do this. And they're just perfectly following that plan every time, because the picks are coming. Fast Fourth is, Sniper's always going to find kills. I'd argue Fast Fourth could be a little more diligent in how they stay out of sightlines, but they show 1 inch, and Froggieland's taking them a mile.
As we do have, it looks like the spectator rock bug coming through. It's not actually a spectator bug. That happens like in game too, sometimes to you, so it might require a restart.
I think it's just a special edition of product.
For those of you who are unaware, this bug can happen like when you're just normally playing, and you can see through them. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like the hitbox is still there, but you can see through them. So if you're in pocket, you can see. Well, I guess if you can't really see their concrete, but if you're at the right angle, you can see, from like valley area to their concrete, but not get shot, and no one else realizes you're looking at them.
Yeah, so I do believe that's going to be a Dolphin restart coming in, but yeah, we'll just be waiting for the teams to ready up, as they did all have to reload in, following the server restart to fix that cap time bug. But yeah, we've talked about how Fast Fourth have a lot of things like that they're just not doing as a team. It's not like it's only that either. Like, they're just getting outplayed, right? It feels like across the board, Froggieland showing up as the better team. And to be fair, right, over the past couple of seasons, the Froggy core has consistently placed higher than the Fog slash Fast Fourth core, right? It just feels like they've been improving as a team faster and been performing in the clutch better. And you can say new season, new roster issues have to be ironed out no matter what. It just feels like Froggy works together a lot better. Like the moment where you see it's Construed walking forward or decloaking and just running in. Like it's not a great decloak, right? But like he's just gonna do his walking, and Townsy just walks in off it. That type of thing is like taken for granted a lot of times. Where if you're able to within your comms make plays like that on the regular, you'll find that they will be successful a lot of the time.
Yeah, I was thinking about some of the things that the team that I'm mentoring were saying, and it occurred to me too that it's like a kind of tangent that a lot of the things that people think makes them good at their class is not what other people want from them. And this is like on almost every single class. Like, it happens to me too. I'm like, oh, my medic surfs and my ability to get clutch uber saws are so cool. And my team's like, please stop running into sightlines. You know what I mean? Just that ability to be like competent and adaptable to the fact where you can play off of your teammates is so much more important than having insane, hitting the C-tap every single jump, having God pipes on demo man. And not to say that, Townsy showed those God pipes on that sack on Rock, right? But it just feels like everyone on Froggieland has all the fundamentals completely down, and they're never losing to themselves. Anytime that you beat Froggieland, it feels like it has to be because you are solidly outplaying them. Something that, we've seen like the, Demento team do over the past few seasons, but very little else.
Yeah, I mean, I believe we call that a high floor, where it feels like if you're just playing at your baseline, you're just a great baseline team across the board. You will do what you need to do to win most games. You will always, perform in a way that you're not just, it doesn't feel like you're just throwing the game for existing. And we see a lot of like newer teams coming up and like teams that just don't have the inbuilt synergy. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like those beat themselves sometimes. And I really like what you said, where it doesn't feel like Froggy ever beats themselves.
Yeah, and something else that I do want to, that I gonna go back to what I said in the intro is that how I said if Exile kind of goes into feed mode, he's dying really inopportune times. I don't want to say it's just Exile, but it feels like the core classes on Fast Fourth are consistently being the ones that get picked off, that get caught out. Like, they're losing Exile to a Heavy in a 9v9. That shouldn't happen multiple times in 2 rounds.
Yeah, we'll see if they can fix these issues going into the second half here as we are underway. Same team colors lining up. Early rollout from Mujet onto Cliff. He's going to pick Freelander. That's a nice adjustment to kind of get that pressure off their backs. Townsy walks forward and demolishes Blank. Exile trades back onto Technomo though, so both demos taking down the opposing scouts. Moments the other way around. Sar going to shut down Mujet early on in this mid, so advantage in favor. Big pipe from Townsy over the top. Gets killed to Mela, and he takes down Exile as well. And now the dominoes once again go falling over.
Oh, Virgil almost went down to Poseidon long-range chip damage. That would have been ugly. But thankfully gets out in time. Fish! Ooh, very close. Ends up not going for the decloak as that pack spawns just in time. But still, that pipe from Townsy was the exclamation point on that mid. And then Sar getting the SVS onto Muja really kind of sealed the deal.
At what point does all of Invite have to admit that Townsy is really good at Demoman? Because he's just hitting way more than a lot of competent Demoman, competent perennial Demoman end up hitting their projectiles. But Uber going to be exchanged on the point. Going to be over at about the same time. Exile walks forward to try to get aggressive. Mujet takes down Pirates, and with Blank taking out his scout opposition, should be mid in favor of Fast Fourth, rather the recapture coming through. They're only down 40 seconds this time. It's not nearly as bad as it normally is, and they're going to have even Uber for the recontest.
If they were backing out, Townsy just accidentally, hit a pipe on the Toy. That Toy surfed from main to back of Cliff, which was bizarre to watch. I don't think Townsy even realized
they're designed by Artis Spaniard.
But ooh, Fish and Poseidon gonna find kills. Freelander not gonna find anything on the bomb. Sar getting taken out.
They're all gonna be looked at. Rebel gets picked off, but he's gonna be the only casualty. So sack attempt does not come through. Still, definitely decent to see. They're still charging the Uber in the spawn. Now it's gonna be Toy up on 90% Uber. They're gonna get just in time for the defense here.
Yeah, they should again. 100% on Toy, 85 on Virgil should be coming through. F are going to go down, so opening pick. They were aggressive on concrete, trying to get shots from
Poseidon's just in.
Can't find anything. Yeah,
He
that's
almost gets the kill.
He does
He
actually.
took Virgil to 1 HP. That was so close.
A banana for his medic. Moist drops. He's going to go walk through, but Construct drops Toy on Rock. Didn't look like any distractions there. Just a lapse in awareness. Great surf by Virgil up onto China. Blocks off all those sight lines. Gets the pack real quick. That counter sight came in super fast from Fast Fourth, but again, great surf by Virgil to live there. And Froggy, I mean, they're actually down in time right now, which I wouldn't have assumed if I hadn't seen it on the clock, but it's hard to believe that they're not going to jump ahead right now.
Yeah, that really just a big lapse to let the spy walk in during downtime and drop your medic like that. That said, Mujet finds a big opening onto the Star. Mujet's on a 4 kill streak. He's powering up over the course of the match. We'll see if he can keep it going, posted on China, and they will just immediately pop the Uber out to relieve pressure. Toy gets jumped on, and Townsy just destroys the enemy medic. Amazing control of the projectiles to make sure that Toy can't even escape.
Yeah, those aggressive Ubers, I see so many teams as Concert's going to get Poseidon. Fish sniffed out on Cliff, not yet quite caught, but Exile and Fish teaming up to get some major frags behind Rock, and it looks like they're going to delay this point a little bit. No, they got who they want. Fish gets taken out by Sar right as he goes down. But yeah, really good refight from Fast Fourth. They're able to just mulch the team on Rock.
Yeah, but Mujet on a 6K, taking down Pyrus there. He's just on a roll this round. He's helping his team get across the line. He's first place in points overall with 14. Bomb onto Concrete coming through from the Heavy and Soldier of Froggieland. They don't end up getting the kills, and they will end up both losing their lives. So, bit of an aggressive push. It does buy their team space, but they'll be sent to the respawn platform for now.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, Sniper just proving itself to be good on product once again. Something we didn't have any idea about is Mujet turning on this round. Really, you can feel the difference.
Conchu just got bumped, and he's going to lose his life for it. Bit unfortunate there. And Uber's going to come out from the house for Froggieland. Towns is getting floated a bit here. He will get caught on the Uber just in time. Melon denying that one entirely. Great air blast coming through from Melon.
Oh, great sticky by Exile. Finds Virgil in main. Always so risky to back out through there. Their demo can potentially get a sticky on you. You know, it's so easy to just get bumped onto a wall or any of the little weird geometry bits in main. And Virgil, unfortunately, going to suffer from that. And really aggressive play right now. Entire combo on grass.
Mujet on an 8K now. He's going to hit that 10K if he goes unchecked. Conchu going to decloak on him. They really want the kill. Mujet has the Scroll Beaches. He gets Ether. Going to jump on Toy, but Mujet going to keep his life in the meantime. Poseidon, though, gets peeked. And a great peek coming out from Froggieland there. Takes down Exile and Poseidon.
Yeah, so again, that forward hold gets some time, but it loses numbers. And because of that, there's going to be a very realistic opportunity for Froggieland to recap this. Yeah, gonna get forced back off of Cliff, not able to scope anything. Gonna peek from base Cliff right there, but Frog
shuts him down.
And oh, the rare 0-second not overtime.
Oh yeah, it's not overtime. So it'll be like what, like a quarter second to get onto it if you are, Froggieland trying to stop the recapture.
Yeah, but I've seen those rounds
where it can matter. Yeah, it can definitely matter.
Gets stuck in losing it, and drops off, and China gets the drop onto Toy with 1.5 minutes to 0. That is exactly the type of pick that gives your team the momentum. They might be able to win this, but they have to watch out for the side. Virgil's playing back as she should be. Only Sar gonna get taken out. Exile still in. Mujet on China. The Force gonna come out, but Moist finds himself a 4K in connector.
That Uber use was really debatable. Yeah. It wasn't Virgil that was low, but it was like 3 players around her that was low. And Virgil ended up using just to make sure those players stayed alive, because, yeah, if you drop those players, round's probably over with the enemies having faster spawns.
But look, Virgil's only 5% down.
Yeah, so going to be good building coming out. Toy was late on that spawn to start healing. Pipe eaten by Virgil. Going to have to go all the way back to the pocket. Not going to be able to heal as well as both teams are walking on point. Exile eats a 150 body. He's going to have to back up. Conchu not successful on his decloak this time, but Fish is.
Yeah, gets Sar. No defensive sniper so big to let people just walk in, and the numbers are falling. Uber's not really going to play a point in this until a little bit in. Cap time's coming in for Fast Fourth right there. Pyrus on it, stalling for as long as he can. Gets a lot of time saved on that. But it's not enough, and Fast Fourth on the back of Exile and Mujet going to bring themselves back into this game.
Yeah, that round was dominated by pick classes on both sides. Mujet went on that huge early kill streak that gave him the timeout, and we saw... It's so rare, by the way, that you are the blue spy here, right? You are Fish, you get 2 medic drops, and you lose the round. Or not Fish, right? Sorry, Construed.
Pretty sure Fish did the same thing last playoffs, actually.
Yeah, well, they won the round, remember? It was narrow, but they
right,
ended up
yeah.
winning the round.
Oh, yeah, that is
Look
true.
at that surf from Virgil. Oh, Craters, that was so close.
Yep. Surf's no reward skill. Makes you take more damage. But they are going to come and try to find Toy. Hit low.
1 HP.
Pocket. Ooh, got hit by something. I don't know if that was a stray revolver shot or what. But almost they find Toy. They will get out, though. And actually, the cap going to go over in favor of Froggieland, it looks like. But with Toy coming up on 90%, I doubt this will last long.
You calling a conscience stab here? Maybe a Freelander sync bomb? Toys brought more replays than they popped in this half, I'm pretty sure.
Not even in position. Concert's nowhere to be found. Oh, Moist hiding on Japan. Gets sniffed out.
Cheese, yeah. I can respect it. Freelander's looking for a buff right now. I think he wants to go and see if he can find the pick. Fish gonna be walking up on Cliff, gonna be able to call this though. Gonna declick beneath it, goes for the med pick, blocks the Virgil in! That was a great play by Fish to block Virgil into Exile's sticky bombs.
Oh, that is the most frustrating thing on a medic, where the only thing, if all their spy needs to contribute is just literally being a warm body. You're like, how do I compete?
Oh, but Technomo just runs in alone and kills Toy in concrete.
He did! Why are either of them there?
Well, neither team has heals temporarily. Toy a much longer spawn timer though. Virgil's gonna get up to about a 35% ad before Toy can even heal. No one actually went back to get Toy, so they will be, about that 35-40% ahead. And now with the spawners, a repush coming in for Froggy here as time ticks into even.
Yeah, Ether looks like skips over Pride. Goes in great reflect from Pyrus. No damage on Virgil at all. But Townsy and Exa both go down in the distractions right there. And it's going to stall a lot of momentum coming out from Froggieland right here.
Yeah, that said, they're going to get the Uber, they're going to get their spawners, and they're going to want to go in fast. The Uber call should be in from their spy. So aggressive play coming forward from Fast Forward, and a good pick onto SAR and Freelander. They pick off those players who are just too far forward on Cliff. This is what we mean, we're on product. If you get aggressive, if you move your team around, you put a lot of pressure on the enemy.
Yeah, and I mean, Moist getting caught out as well, and Ether, ooh, finding Virgil, gets that drop on Cliff. Dirty.
Yeah, and just like that, momentum is firmly in the favor of Fast Forward here. Denying the bomb, they do end up popping Uber. It's technically a free Uber because there's still a spawner from Virgil. Gonna be about 10% down, so not fully free, but end up having to pop there. So about a minute now lead coming forward for Fast Forward here. They're in a great position to tie this thing up at 2 apiece.
Pretty sure we've seen a couple of Froggieland matches where whatever team wins the first half immediately gets O2'd back. Am I alone in thinking that? I feel like we had at least 2 of those last season. Anyway, Crit Ball gonna take out Pyrus. Townsy going down as well. Sar gonna be next.
Contra going for the decloak. He's just revolvering Toy in the back. Toy taking 2 shots right now. Really getting chased out by Blank, but he's being a bit of a distraction right now. Spawners back in for the side of Froggy. They're walking a lot of players onto concrete right now. Heals come up to the point. Exile getting lit on fire, has to back up, but Moodred is denying.
Toy Constantly just finds Toy, just snaps his fingers and makes Toy disappear. With that was not the cleanest stab. Oh, I guess that was a clean stab. Shouldn't have happened though, as Melon trying to bomb in, gets sent into the stratosphere. Freelander's gonna be a kill, but that looks like about it as Virgil's sitting happy on 100%. Cap gonna come through. Delay for Freelander, I guess, for a second. Cap it, it's just free time, come on!
Imagine if Froggy get O2'd here, you are Constru, you have 4 med picks in a round, and you didn't win. 4 med picks and a half, you didn't win any of them.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks a lot.
We were doing better when I wasn't killing the medic.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, I mean, he should have just stopped. It wasn't good. Sar finds Toy coming in. A little bit too aggressive with the walk-up, and that's going to maybe potentially signal another sack wave.
Explosive classes over the top. They're getting onto Virgil. Virgil runs out through main. Great movement. Exile, can he land it? He's going to get the
that last pipe would have hit, too.
Yeah. That was a
good pop by Virgil. Needed. Unfortunate that it lasted for so long, and I mean, the thing is that, yeah, it sucks that Toy dies, but they had a 2-minute time lead. I mean, all you need to do is you get the sack out of Toy, or Virgil, excuse me, and now things, you only really need to win 1 push, and things are already in overtime.
Ooh, Sar on a 4 kill streak, taking on Melon out of the spawn door, being a threat on this defensive push. And I don't think they have a spy right now. Yeah, Fish died for going for the decloak, so Sniper's going to be uncontested for just a bit longer. Freelander standing on a Highlander house with Moist below. Normal combo holding on, and that's going to be Technomo respawning as well. Sar, his 5th kill of the life, taking down Moodred is a big one.
Yeah, Yeah, no sniper right there for the attacking team. They will play wide.
2 lives in a row.
Yeah, Melon going down again, and in comes Ether over the top. Good reflect.
The control point is being contested.
Look at Moist, so aggressive on concrete. It's gonna be, yep, gonna get stabbed out there. Probably dies regardless. Just way too far forward. No one there was able to support him with those hackers coming in.
Exa has the glow stick. It could be big in this fight. It's down to less than a minute on the clock for both teams as Sark peeking onto Cliff, takes down a mini sentry, so they will be aware of his position. Construed not finding anything on his decloak, so no spy to worry about. We see fast forward. They're going to walk onto the point. They have Uber. Both teams do early aggressive Uber coming forward, and they do force Toy. It's a bit earlier from the side of Froggy, but more flashes on fast forward right now. Uber's end. Same time, now they're contesting the point.
Watch the kill feeder. If any snipers can get some big picks, it's probably going to decide the fight, which is still very much even. And there is Mujit finding Technomo. No scout. It's going to be a huge kill. Construct gets counter-espionage as well. So even with the point in favor of Froggieland, the numbers are in favor of Fast Fourth. Ether, though, getting hurt off the connector. Escapes barely with his life. Pyrus, another one to fall. 9v6, but Froggy are holding on.
Yeah, they're contesting. They have some spawners up, and health isn't great on the side of Fast Forward. They're buffing up all their players. This is the last push. It's overtime now for Froggy. They have to go forward. They have to cap it. It's 75 for Virgil. Virgil can get this Uber. It might be the difference maker, but Exa runs over the glow stick. 300 just damage as well. There's Moist coming in from the flank, cleaning them up in main, and that's going to be the round in third for Froggieland. Half tied at 1-1.
What an Alamo hold right there, coming out from Froggieland, not letting this one go back to 2-2 and tied up. Froggieland pull that one out from the brink of defeat, put themselves on match point right here.
Yeah, Moist found the perfect moment to get aggressive through connector there. He found when he wasn't getting stared at, he just walked through and he did so much damage. And yeah, like you said, match point for Froggy. We'll see if they can close it out here.
Yep, in comes Ether over Cliff, no one waiting to deny him. Deciding to be the first one going down,
Fish,
though.
double
No
kill
heavy
on concrete.
Fish.
Sar and Moist getting taken down right away, and there's Virgil back up into the sniper sideline, taken down just like that. Sack coming in, Townsy gets taken down to fall damage. Toy long out of dodge right now. It's gonna be mid-win and full Uber advantage in favor of Fast Fourth right now. This is exactly what they need to maybe progress things to a third half.
Yep, good way to start. Toy has that ad, so we should expect to see some sacks coming out from the side of Froggieland right here. Not quite out of spawn yet, everyone getting buffed up coming out. 7 buffs on the side of Froggieland right here. Only the spy and the medic, you know. You don't really need your spy to be buffed anyway, even the backline, so.
I disagree.
I'd buff you. I'd buff you.
Oh, Exile goes down immediately to the SAR, and there's the bomb from the end. Failure goes deep, not able to find the rocket onto the medic, though. Moist gets sniped for his trouble as well. And with Ether going down, there's actually a lot of numbers they can work with on the side of Froggieland here. Exile gonna get sniped, and Mujet still being threatening on top of this rock position. He's gonna stare down. SAR revolvered by Fish on Cliff, so now Mujet is uncontested. Townsy goes in, can't hit this pipe this time around, so that's gonna be a good hold from the side of Fast Fourth.
Townsie's just gotta condense him, you know what I mean? He hit 0 on this one, he's gonna hit 2 on the next one.
Exactly. No hitting one. No half-assing it.
Exactly, yeah, you're either all in or you're all out.
I was looking.
Ooh, what a shot by Mujet!
Yeah, Mujet found that pick over the top, and then Construed, he narrowly missed the stab. That would have been a big entry pick for his team. So now we're going to see the hold come through once again for Fast Four. They have Uber. They're playing on top of the point, not behind it. So it's going to have to be an early Uber charge here from Froggy.
Yeah, Virgil hit super low, down to 10 health, as she uses lots of just, you know, jostling on point. Gonna end up really with no one dead except Rebel's mini sentry. As the fight basically resets itself now. Sar gonna be the first one down, but Exile taken out in return. Townsy wins the demo v demo right there. And that may be enough as Rebel caught out on the wrong concrete. Ether will go next. And the point should be going over. Construct getting Poseidon only going to nail in the coffin that defense.
Yeah, they get the point captured. The rest of the combo trying to, you know, maintain some space, not get fully pushed back. Mujet gets lit on fire, so has to drop off of China. And now Fish going for another kill on Sar, but Sar hears that one. Gonna drop down to the safety of his team. Fish still in the backline, gets reverse bombed by Pirates of all people. But now Fish is in main. He didn't get seen. They're gonna look for him, but now point control coming up for Fast Forward. They're just walking onto it.
Yeah, Virgil hits super low, but Ether coming in, not gonna let her escape. Finds that medic. Townsy's alone. Doesn't even really have the health to sack in right now. Might just decide to keep his life when Virgil spawns to get back in faster. Because Toy has Uber and a time lead. Things are looking good right now if you're Fast Fourth.
Yep, and Toy just standing on this point with the Uber. They've been indomitable from this position in this round. Mujet as well getting on top of the trash pile, scoping down onto Cliff. They see them coming out there, so it's going to have to be an entry pick in some way for Froggy. Long declick coming from Conchard, immediately gets sniffed out. Oh, but dude,
I told you, what did I tell you, Zach?
Yeah,
saving him up for this one. Finds two
time.
pipes right away. She might have been a pipe and a sticky, I'm not sure. But regardless, whiffed it last time, hits both of them this time. Toy is the lead-in. But Poseidon and Rebels Mini have a forward operating base on the enemy team's concrete, being a huge thorn in their side and really not letting them push even with that med drop. Virgil, in on, or FXB in on Virgil, gonna make her crater. Meds have been equalized.
Yeah, and importantly, still being held by Fast Fourth. Froggy didn't even get a chance to recap and get some of that time back, so now we're heading into overtime for Fast Fourth. No Uber for Froggy. They just got a desperation shot onto this, otherwise it's the third half.
Yeah, I mean, and it looks like they're getting some good time in, but the frag's going over, not even gonna matter. Time in, but it's not enough. Virgil will go down. Find a couple of, consolation kills, nothing on important classes, and we only get to see as, looks like there's no point time bug on this round, and Fast Fourth will win this half 2-1. So still 3-2 in favor of Froggieland.
Fast Fourth in the half. Overall score right now is a 3-2 in favor of Froggieland. So we have one more half coming up. First team to 4 rounds will be our winner here tonight. We did mention at the top of the show that with these close mid-table matchups, especially on Koth, you want as many rounds as possible to make sure you can get match points, make sure you get that seed that you want come end of season. So both these teams, like I said, doing their best. They want as many points as possible, and they want to win. They want this match. They want these crucial points over playoff competition.
Yeah, because I mean, you drop one round and that's a full match point now, and it just basically puts you in that slightly lower tier, right? Where every other team that hasn't lost a round is just automatically above you, and you need to go take one in return. And, all the rounds are a zero-sum game, right? But it feels like it's a lot harder to take a round off a team that's better than you than it is to drop one to a team that's worse.
Mujet deciding he did not want to lose anymore. 24-8 with 500
Ooh.
DPM.
Blank's sitting on 4 DOMs right
both
now.
Closing damage. Is he 4 DOMs?
Yeah.
So is Blank, actually. Blank is 4 DOMs as well.
I said Blank at 4 DOMs.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure if that came across. But yeah, Blank, I mean, if you look at the stats, right? Less deaths than Toy, and that's something that we've seen from Blank Scout in the past.
Wait, you know what's crazy? Blank has 4 DOMs, 16 kills. He's only killed 4 players.
It's just factor into that as well. You figure with the toys, you're getting some of those for free. But
yeah.
I mean, the point is that he's not dying, right? And again, something we've seen from Blank Scout a lot, where Blank Scout is, if I had to peg one player in an invite match who's going to have less deaths than their medic, it would absolutely be Blank Scout. Plays super hard pocket, always with his med, and then when the med dies, he's right back off the spawn to pick them up again. So, not gonna go for those aggressive plays like we saw Technomo on that very first mid. Just run right across and kill Toy. Blank's not going to be the scout to do that. Blank plays by the book scout. And, I mean, yeah, maybe it's not as hypey, right, as a scout running in, juking 3 people and assassinating a med. But it's more consistent, and it's the right play.
Yeah, and if you're Froggieland there's one big thing that you have to address, and that's the fact that your sniper is getting killed by a spy every other life. At the end of that round, Sar was dominating Mujet. He was doing a pretty good job in the SVS. He was getting farmed by fish on repeat, and a lot of the times he was dying, I was watching, he was getting walked up on cliff, where like someone is in vicinity of him, whether it be Pyrus or Exa. Sar's just dying a lot, where he really should be getting spy checked for.
Yeah, that is definitely true. I mean, it's to the point where there needs to be someone just sitting on him more. I'm not sure if he's just getting desync from Exa, or fish is just really that hard to pick up. But Mujet starting to do well is, directly tied to Sar's doing worse. And not just, again, because of the SVS, as you said, but Sar's just dying more often to more sources. I also think that, to their credit, the combo of Fast Fourth has stopped imploding. Specifically in the fact where they're not randomly getting caught out to, like, goofy stuff right before a fight starts. Exile is not the first one dead in all these pushes.
Yeah, did Exile get sniped a single time that half? I don't remember seeing it.
I would assume it happened once, just
not nearly as much as in the first half.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, like, Exile's not getting caught out by a heavy walking boxes in a 9v9 multiple times this half, and you can see things start turning around. But I do want to say, though, despite how much better Fast Fourth played, they are still against match point here because Froggieland was able to salvage that middle round in a round I really didn't think they had a lot of business winning when we started to get down to overtime.
Yeah, I mean, we see in a lot of the rounds here, even if Froggy aren't winning, they have so many avenues in so frequently, whether it be Townsy just going in and hitting massive drops, Construed finding the med pick when he really shouldn't be able to, even Technomo just running in into 4 people on concrete and killing the medic, right? They're finding plays. It's just a matter of putting it together. And like you said, the combo for Fast Fourth has put it together a lot more. Exile's not exploding. Toys had far less of the I just died at a really bad time moments. And it feels like they're playing more solidly together as a team. That said, the avenues are in for Froggy, and it's why I'd still favor them here. Even if they don't win this first round, they have 2 chances for someone to just make one of the big plays they've been making all night.
Yeah, I mean, they just need one out of these 2 rounds to have SAR not kind of get bullied and be able to exist. The other thing, too, I want to point out real quick as we get into this is that there haven't been as many just straight picks coming in, which means Freelander's bombs have had to be more in those 9v9 situations where he's being more of a distraction rather than a finisher. And I think we've seen that in him not getting as many of those emphatic med kills he was getting in the first half. And that's to Fast Forward's credit for not getting picked as much. Way earlier rollout for Exile.
Yeah, he needs a pipe though. Gester get arrowed, and now he's later on the mid. He takes 1 HP, just immediately gets bombed. Freelander over the top, big damage. Toy gets cleaned up as well by Construed. We mentioned Freelander being the opener. He opens it up with a bang there, and the entire team is just dead.
Yep, and then Construed gonna counter espionage fish on his own grass. And yeah, that's how you win a mid fight. Tons of damage coming out from Townsy. Freelander smells blood in the water. And then just, hunts down the prey.
It's a departure from the normal mid, too, because last 2 mids I saw Freelander, he was playing the thing where he just goes behind and kind of pesters from house. They said, screw that.
Moonjet, though, from bottom of cliff, I think that was on grass. Gonna find Virgil backing out. That's 97%, almost a drop. And that's gonna throw things right back in favor of Toy and Fast Fourth right here.
Yeah, if you are Froggy here, you want to try to get onto Toy, you want to try to negate this disaster. Freelander's going to go on. 1 rocket hits a super Townsy! Great bomb. There's just nowhere for Toy to go. He eats a rocket and a sticky same frame.
Yeah, Pocket's great when the enemy sniper's alive, but not when you're getting bombed. Does not leave you anywhere to surf any of that explosive damage. It's just asking to get nuked, and exactly what happens to Toy. They're going to equalize it out. Virgil on a 4% Uber ad?
Yeah, going to be a decent amount with the recapture coming, or rather the first capture of the round coming for Fast Fourth here. Their spawns are extended. Construed looking for any opening he could find. It'd be a big one onto Poseidon here, clearing this concrete space out. He's going to go. 1 pick, 2. He's not getting the second, but killing Poseidon is big. In the meantime, though, spam rockets from Ether does take down Moist and Construed in the post.
Yeah, without that defensive heavy up, I imagine they're going to start pressuring. You're going to see that in terms of just the lack of an aggro.
Just to a scout.
Yeah, Moonjet goes down. Sar going to get taken out by Ether, though.
Virgil's
where
down.
that was,
Exile.
but Virgil, Exile, deletes the combo right behind Rock. Looking kind of like a reverse of what happened in the first couple rounds for Froggieland right there, where Rock is just going to be the resting place. But Constant coming back in again, going to find Exile. Freelander creators, but it's going to be enough to cap the point, and they will extend their soldiers, something I'm thankful for.
Blank now going to walk immediately onto the point, takes half his HP, needs to get back, get some kills from Toy. They're walking up the bulk of their forces onto Concrete, and with Fish taking down Moist with the backstab, Concrete is free for the taking. Townsy about to get flanked by Ether. He eats a rocket, he's very low HP, they need to back up. Fish as well is lurking in the water. Uber going to come in over the top. Sar dead instantly. They're trying to get onto the medic here. Virgil dipping, dodging, will be safe for now in that house position.
So smart. You have the dispenser up to block any projectiles from coming into house. And Virgil's just feeling pretty safe, honestly. She's up on 85 right here. Recount's going to come in without her even needing to use it. Not too long of a hold by Fast Fourth. Toy backing off to spawn. Full ad right now for Virgil.
Yeah, time going to be very close to even, but advantage in favor of Froggieland. With this 50% Uber ad, they're going to take some more of this time off the clock. Remember, match point for them, all they need is this round. Fish going to get behind enemy lines, trying to make a play for his team. If he could find one of his, patented medic drops here when he shouldn't. Virgil takes a lot of damage to a pipe. Fish could go for revolver shots here and get the drop.
Great. Oh, she's taking even more. She might get forced soon.
Yeah,
one for projectile. That's going to be it. Townsie's initial jump gets stalled. Exile dies for it, but it might be enough to save Choi, who's already long gone out into spawn. And yeah, just really good spam, able to get that force out with nothing but really demo damage.
Yeah, but now ball in the court of Fast Fourth here. They have a minute to make up with the Uber charge to do it with. They're going to group up, get their players buffed. Rebel, the only one dead right now, will get that spawn up just in time as Mujet peeking from concrete goes lower to port side. If you could find an entry here, it'd be huge, especially onto Sar. Sar now on cliff, posting up.
Yeah, Freelander in deep behind, in pocket, gonna find a reflect waiting for him from Melon as the Uber gets forced out right there. Townsie's gonna get stabbed, but really not too much of an issue as the full-on retreat has been signed up for Froggieland. Virgil's gonna escape with her 65% Uber and be happy to leapfrog advantages.
Yeah, I feel like if you're Fast Fourth there, they just kind of said we're popping this Uber no matter what, because they saw no resistance, actually. There was almost nobody stopping them from walking in once we saw a Sticky being eaten by Sar. They just popped immediately, you know, they said we need this point now, I can respect it, but now Virgil up on that 50% ad, like you said, it's going to have to be some big plays from the side of Fast Fourth here. Mujet posted up once again aggressively, looking at the cliff angle. If he could find anything here, it'd be a great boon for his team. Now the rest of the team rolling out through main. Froggy going to take this one through main, and we Townsy and Technoma with the Uber.
Yep, popped out, they're getting across. Pirate's going to be the first one to go down from a sniper. Fish going to counter espionage. Happens a couple times, I feel like, but the only kill that Uber's going to find is a dispenser. And they will recap, the leapfrog goes right back in favor of Troy. They haven't even capped yet.
Exo gets stabbed though, big kick by Conchu there, loses life, but he'll take that any time. Fist heavy now capping up, Moist gonna lose his life. They don't even give up the cap quite yet. Melon taking a lot of damage as they're gonna trade with Freelander in the connector area. No soldier's gonna be killed.
Townsie's so aggro, that's our blank.
Yeah, they're gonna immediately pop that Uber the second they get it for Toy. That's gonna put them even on time. But Virgil with 50% Uber, they now have one more chance on Froggy to take the fight to their opposition and win the round. See if they can do it.
This cap time seems to be decreasing extremely slowly.
It is. This might be the bug again, you're right. That'd be really sad for the side of Fast Fourth here if it ends up mattering. And Sar opens things up with the counter snipe onto Mujet.
Yep, and Concert, though, not going to find anything on Rod, but Melon distracted, taking up the spy, runs into his sightline. Freelander dead, but Blank's going to go down, and Fish finds Moist and Townsy, gets out as well.
It's 4 people in an Uber. It has to be Uber onto Exa and Pyrus here. They're the only people who can contest the point. We do see Exa walking up a lot.
Pyro solo gonna fight
Pyrus is walking up them. He's gonna get the solo Uber.
Oh, Rebel's working, but he's found out Fish gonna find Virgil right at the end there, take her out. Rebel goes down, lots of afterburn damage in on point, no one to heal it. After coming in on a big bomb, this point likely gonna go over. No harm in delaying here as you already have overtime on the enemy team. But those spawns could come up. Melon getting it out, Ether down as well. Freelander trades for 2, and Moist on Rock does get taken out. Mujet takes him down, but the cap just coming in. All the spawns, most of them should be up in favor for Froggieland here. So we'll have a 99 with 15 seconds left. Virgil building, but would have liked to have seen quick fix here, not gonna lie.
Yeah, no Med gonna have Uber for this last complication unless overtime stretches for a very long time, which Toy will have the advantage. But now, walking out of house is Froggieland trying to get forward. Fish in the backlines, but Exile shreds them. Townsy's Technoma go down. Sar gets stabbed as well with Pyrus dying. There's few people who can contest. Marcus is gonna do his best. Exa can't get there in time. And there's the round in favor of Fast Fourth. We're tied 3-3. Next round's gonna take it all.
Yep, we are on the end of this match, one way or another. Fast Forward has been steadily warming that engine up throughout. Oh, Fast Forward. It's an accent thing. It's an accent.
Truly.
I actually said it. Now, Exile again. How's he going for this cliff rollout into walking up Valley?
It's working. He's
easy full health.
Rolling Exile with stickies.
But walks into his sideline. But Mujet going down as well. One key class dead on each side. Freelander going to be the difference, though. Virgil super far forward on boxes, but the frag's more in favor right now. 4 Fast Forward, only 4 alive.
Fast Forward right now, they have more players alive, even though they did lose Exile in the end. They just have the sheer numbers to keep pushing forward on the point. They're going to get the first capture of the last round here. Both Meds going to be able to keep their lives. Uber's going to be up for both sides here in just a second. Froggy going to group up on Cliff, looking to take this Uber as fast as they can. Mujet scoping it, but we'll have to back off the angle for now. Gonna end up regrouping on the Japan angle. That could catch someone off guard if they're not careful.
Yeah, it might have been the first round where both Meds lived on mid, now that I think about it. Ether and Poseidon, though, construed the door opener, finding 2. Mujet again, this Uber's already a 9v6. just going to be Air Blast coming out, giving them ground right here. No need to even worry about it. No sniper. They just want the positioning from this. And the point going to go over in favor of Froggieland right here.
Finds XL. He's going to shoot Toy in the back. Can anyone help collapse on this? No, it's going to be a no for now. Marcus is going to try. Goes in over the top, but Toy is out of dodge right now. And there's going to be Cap going over in favor of Frog. You're going to be able to equalize the time here. But again, both meds are going to be on Uber at the same time.
Good stat by Constru, but at the same time, sounded really good going on Toy. Missed every revolver shot, unfortunately. So fine. Even if anyone goes in, probably don't find that easy of a kill. So maybe that's for the best that they don't feed anyone. But slight, very slight ad for Virgil right here. As Moonjet peeking through Valley. Townsy playing aggro on the right side of point. Gonna find the mini, but that's about it. Just some jostling for position right now. Constru has decloak. Looks like he's sniffed out, but Exile goes down.
Yeah, just straight gets sticky by Townsy in downtime. We do see Ether goes into the backlines, kills X on his own cliff. They're going to be a bit of a menace in the back, but Uber comes across points. An Uber v Uber trade. Melon does a great job at air blasting back, buying her team a lot of space. Look at Melon buying all the space right now. Will also back up into stickies and lose her life. So, you know, got a bit aggressive on that one, but it's going to be right now point control held by Fast Fourth here. They're walking up, they clear Moist out of connector, and this should be a recapture for them.
Yeah, Moonjet as well there during that Uber melee down Construed in-house, so not going down to the spy means that Sniper's still alive. Had Moonjet actually, you know, lost that 1v1 there, maybe see something different because they don't have to fear the sniper peek, but as you said, in exchange, Fast Forward going to take the point back and start looking to even up this time.
Yeah, both meds still even. I'm pretty sure no med has died yet. That's such a rarity on product in the modern age of Highlanders, so we'll see how long that ends up keeping up. I totally didn't curse Toy right here to a Townsy bomb, but either way, they're going to be trying to walk in through main for Froggieland.
Toy cursed him! No! What a caster's curse! Not quite a bomb, just 2 pipes is all it takes. As Toy's backing out, he'll add in favor of Virgil. She's sitting in-house, 99, gonna come up on that Uber, and they're just gonna walk with this free Uber.
Yeah, and Sar and Contra are finding even more kills.
Moonjet and Exile are dead. No, they didn't even have to use.
Yeah, no Highlander classes at all right here present for the side of Fast Forward, and they just have to back up all the way. Freelander getting the kill onto Ether as well means that he has full reign of the enemy cliff, and they'll be able to just post up really aggressively.
Yeah, Rebel just scouting out what's on grass right there. Gonna find a lot of red players, and right as they do that, rotate over to cliffside. Don't want to let them get called out in one position. Blank getting really forward. Yeah, gonna be forced to back up. Not gonna find too much from the back right there, as they're just rotating back and forth, playing outside of main spawn right now. Blue combo going out onto grass, and they will kind of have this peek out right here. Uber's gonna get forced out behind house. This is an awkward position. Marcus, Freelander gonna come and try to find Toy, but already out to spawn. They get the Uber force for free.
Yeah, that was an attempt of trying to do a bit too much there for Froggy. They tried to split a lot of people up, but instead they just got focus fire down in the middle, and they have to force that Uber, like you said, and now Uber ad held by Toy. It's about a 40-second advantage for the side of Froggieland right now. They need to be able to kite this out. If they lose a med here and go on an Uber leapfrog this ad, it's going to be tough going forward.
Great shot. Oh, Moonjet! What was that? Takes out both bombers back to back!
He's cheating. He's cheating. Now he takes down Sar. That is insane. He headshots both bombers out of the air. That's something you see in like a Six's Frag movie where someone's outclassing Sniper and takes down both soldiers, but it's Highlander, and he's just gonna buy his team so much momentum with that.
Yeah, I saw Freelander's bomb, I'm like, this is gonna be juicy, and then he's suddenly a ragdoll.
He decided to win the game. They have to force the Uber though. Technomo got in the backline and did a lot of damage, so now they're gonna have to pop the Uber. Virgil now full 100% advantage. Spawners are still coming up for
Moonjet though. That's no sniper. That's, you know, that's the anti-air cannon down. Bombers take to the sky.
Look at Fish. He's standing on point, tries for it, doesn't actually get it. Saw will go down though, just anti-aired by Ether immediately. Ether going to be a nuisance in the backline once again. Constantly been doing this on the enemy clip. Actually, Ether's going to bump up. Just air blast is going to be taken down. And now Uber is coming in for Froggy here. Toy, can he get out? He does manage to make it into the house in time. Capture going to go in favor of Froggy, but 30 seconds on the clock for both teams. Toy now with his Uber at.
Oh, this one's going to come down to the wire here. This is the last round. Winner takes all. So Virgil in pocket right here, but on big disad. This round is favoring Fast Forward right here. Exile getting forward, trying to force them out. Construed on China, goes for the equal, but going sniffed out by Melon.
Two, can't get the third rocket. 1 HP is Toy now with 100% Uber. If Freelander hit that last rocket, it would have been huge. Townsy going in delayed, tries to find the pipe. He can't do it either, and Toy still keeps the full Uber ad.
Yeah, and when Freelander was in, I don't think Toy had quite yet, sitting right on 97, 98. So that could have potentially
That's not the
been
pop and
round
stand on
changing
the
right
point.
here, but
Yeah, gotta get the
Freelander
force
in,
this
gotta get
time.
that force out, but they need cap time.
Virgil's
Pyrus
dead.
on it, gonna start building it. It may
over.
not be enough though. Construed in, just stalling a little bit longer, but it's not enough. Fast Fourth completes the comeback win here. Really, really warms up their engine, starts getting going, and Blank, as we said, in the lead, right? Looking like the difference maker, ends that round on an 11 streak with 3 doms.
Yeah,
Top
Blank was
fragging
just
over his bed.
huge that entire match, but especially on their streak to come back from the 0-2 deficit. Did so much work. We saw Mujet turn it up in the second and third halves. When Mujet was on, he was just shooting everything. That highlight where he had shot both bombers out of the air, that is crazy. That's one for the season.
Yeah, just I had to like take a second when I saw it. I'm like, wait, he just shot Freelander out of the air. What a nice shot! And then I'm like, oh, here comes Count. Wait, why did both of their health bars disappear in midair? What happened?
Crazy. That was insane. And yeah, stats on your screen: Blank 19, Mujet 17. Ether did a big job going behind all the time. 16 kills. That's when you have 16 kills, 13 deaths, and 330 damage. You did a lot as Soldier on product.
Yeah, and consistently a lot of those kills were on SAR too. Ether was consistently finding that sniper, opening things up for Mujet, meaning he could play wide without fear of getting peeked back and really just hunt down those frags. And that's exactly what they did. I mean, again, that round came down to the wire. Not quite a double overtime, but that one rocket from Freelander, if that connects, we're looking at a double overtime at least, if not a different outcome for this match. But still, really, really close match, and I think it spells good things for the rest of this season.
Exact even damage for both demo men in that entire game. They're both averaging 444 damage.
All right, we got to go in and see who actually had more. Yeah, no, I mean, I think we found out. I actually didn't see I know chat was updating, I think, but somebody helped versus Squirtye went 3-3, which I was very surprised by, as I was not. Well, obviously it goes 4-3. Dolphin, who won? Squirtye won 4-3. Okay, but
shout out to Help for getting close to winning it.
Yeah, I did not count them as contenders in this round. I had ranking against them for After Dark, and I thought that when we were taking rounds off of them, it didn't spell good things for them, but showed up big in the match, and I mean, they really took it to them, and those are those match points, right? That's a game for somebody helped there that you're kind of expected to lose, I would say, but you make the best out of it. You get those 3 match points. Is it 3? Yeah, it'll be 3. Yeah, 6-3. So it puts them in a really good spot where if they win all the matches now that they're supposed to, it puts them in a great spot for playoffs. And, on the other hand, though, Froggy beating Fast Fourth, or Fourth, excuse me, my bad. Too many Fs. Fast Fourth beating Froggy, even though they lost some match points, it gives them the win. So it kind of puts them in a little bit of a higher tier, so good for them, because I was really afraid that we were going to see Fast Fourth turn into the fog again, of just consistently they should be winning, but they don't. So even though I think Froggy played really well, and I'm a little sad to see them lose, at the same time, I'm glad that Fast Fourth isn't gonna. They're not gonna be frauds. They're not gonna go up in smoke this time.
Yeah. But yeah, Blank being the pickup that they really needed. I think that the problems that we saw from Fog last season, most of them compounded with the combo just falling apart at the worst moments, right? But with Blank leading Ubers, especially on Koth, I feel like they have consistent ways to actually win fights and win cleanup now. So we'll see if they can keep that momentum going here. They're starting out 2-0. Even if you did drop some match points here, you got as many as you could. That's what matters, especially against potential playoff opponent. And with that, they're going to be in pretty good position here moving forward. Because if you look at the teams that they're up against that are going to be tough on paper, who do they have next week? Next week on their schedule is going to be League of Lemons, right? If you can take 1 round of Vigil there, you're happy. If you take 0, you're not the most bent out of shape about it. So you're thinking at least we beat Froggy here, right?
Yeah. I mean, you still have that. So at this point, it's going to be very difficult for Froggy to actually beat out Fast Fourth in the standings, where you're kind of maybe hoping at this point that you get that 2 versus 3 matchup against them potentially, where you're only down the map ad, but losing that match may have just essentially, if everything else kind of goes as planned from here on out, which I doubt it will. Somebody help tends to not let things go as planned whenever they're involved. But if things were to go kind of as expected, you would see the second seed now be, I believe, Fast Fourth over Froggieland. So just goes to show how big of a match that is, because that's your third map pick.
Yeah, I mean, if it does come down to that by the end of the season, we'll be citing this as the moment where it turned in favor of Froggy, in favor of Fast Fourth, where they're getting the advantage on that one. But for now, that's going to about do it for us tonight. It was a very exciting week where two of the matches ended up going 4-3.
I can't ask for. Not only did two of them go 4-3, the other ended before we finished our first round, so we were broadcasting to the most viewers possible. So
True.
thanks everyone for tuning in. I saw, I think, at least 250, if not more, which is pretty good for a week 2 match. So yeah, thanks to everyone who watched. And Zag, any closing remarks?
Not much. I mean, that was a pretty good match. I'm very excited to see what this Fast Fourth squad can do because, as we mentioned, a lot of players in this team end up getting stuck on fourth place teams come end of the season. Few of them have seen, a grand final in quite a while. So I think that if Blank can be the pickup they need, if they can continue to put things together as a team overall, this might be their year. This could be the season where they end up actually making it to that grand final. We'll have to see.
Yep. And if you want to find out whether or not that does happen, you got to tune in every Monday. I mean, it's season 14 at this point. You guys should know the drill. Every Monday, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. So I think that'll do it from us from this week. So great match here. Looks like we should have at least one, if not 2 matches as well next week. I mean, Fast Fourth versus Lemons, Help versus Froggy, and even Mountain Standard versus After Dark for, I think that's probably your 7v8 matchup of the season. So
Ooh, do we cast that one this early?
we might give them their time in the spotlight, and then can look to try to get everyone on cat. Who knows? Well, we'll leave that as a surprise. Leave some tension. Always gotta subvert your expectations and all that. So I think that does it from us before this gets even more off topic.
Yep.
Oh, looks like Dolphin didn't cut it. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. See you back here next week, same time for what do we have next? Even is it Upward?
Vigil looks like.
Vigil. Ooh, Vigil. So it should be a great one. Vigil always has some interesting results come through. So once again, thanks for watching. Congratulations to Fast Fourth, and we'll see you next week on PL Vigil.